What's good, y'all? It's your girl Dre. You're watching That's So Dre, and today I am back with another video, and we're on the couch, which means we need to talk. All right, y'all. So y'all back. Y'all came back. Y'all tuned back in for the second half of the video. I left off with me talking about me having reservations and him proposing and being on one knee. So he's proposing, he's on one knee, everything in the room goes black. I'm hearing some music. I can, like, it's kind of familiar, but your girl really don't know what I'm hearing. I just remember just stopping what I was doing and like freezing, because I was like, oh my God, is he proposing? And so of course it was so beautiful, thought out, sweet, the sweetest, right? But there were some things, there was something in me that caused me to have some reservations that I thought would kind of go away after we planned the wedding, and maybe when, you know, we got close to being married, we got married, like all those things would go away. And so, and for that excitement, I was super excited. I was nervous when he was proposing, of course, and I felt special that he went through all of the fuss, right? And we had, after our proposal, it was a beautiful night. It was a beautiful night. We had a party. Like, my mom rented out this part of the this restaurant. It was like this big ordeal, y'all. It was a really beautiful night. You know, after that, we went back to my house. I was living with my mom. He came over and we kind of talked about it, and he was like, this is like telling me everything that happened and what we're hopeful for. And I remember us having a really deep conversation that night, like, but what we're gonna do about this, or what we're gonna do about that. Like, I remember there was still I felt some reservations on his end and some reservation on my end. And so what came to be as far as calling off the engagement was on my part. This is deep. This is deep. Well, as time progressed, a lot of the things that we've discussed and we had conflict with and things like that were not resolving. And I felt like, you know, I was rushing. I was trying to figure out how to be a wife, and, you know, my mom isn't married yet. And so I didn't live in the household of, you know, a married woman. I didn't know how the household was supposed to be ran, so to speak. I mean, I had mentors and things like that. So I'm over here, God's working out. He's bringing people around me, and I'm learning all of this stuff. And besides all of that, I just kept having this reservation of, you know, wait a minute, like, this thing hasn't changed, or this thing is concerning for me, and this is a deal breaker, and I'm not willing to let up on that deal breaker because, you know, he's a great guy and we could work. It was like, we could work, but could we work? You know, that type of thing. It was like, this requires both parties, right? This requires me dealing with my stuff and getting through the junk that I gotta get through, and this requires you getting your stuff together too, so we can come together and it could be a beautiful thing. But until then, you're gonna be hitting up against the walls that I have, and I'll be hitting against the walls that you have, and we're not getting anywhere. It's not just your fault or just his fault. Like, it wasn't that situation. And I think, and we later found out that I later found out there was a lot of pressure on his part with other people on the outside that I didn't even know about, you know, with the timing. And I felt like we were good friends, and that is something that is unfortunate, because that friendship did fold in us, you know, not being married, or us deciding, okay, well, wow, we're not getting married. And coming to the decision was really hard, because I felt like I was making a decision and I was going against the mold. Like, everyone around me was like, yeah, but there was something inside of me like, that's not, don't do it. And I was very upset with myself for a while, because I was like, why did I even wait and say yes, or get to this point? Why did I, you know, do that? And you're young and you don't know our emotions, excitement and anxiety. It registers through the body the exact same like way. It's the same set of like feelings, or endorphins and things that are released are similar, because like the butterflies you get when you're excited, right? Or the butterflies you get in your stomach when you're afraid. It's the same thing. And so in my mind, I didn't realize, okay, when you say yes and you do this, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you should not be having those types of reservations. And as I begin to sit back and I was praying, I'm like, Lord, like, what am I doing? And we were having different things that we disagreed with, and we just kept not coming to the same page on some stuff. And it was to that point where I'm like, why are we stressing ourselves about a wedding? Like, we are not even getting this part together. Like, let's get this part. That's like up there, and none of this is gonna go away if I just jump up there. And that was some of the things I was dealing with is, okay, maybe it'll go away. Maybe it get better. Okay, maybe I'm tripping. You know, we do be having those moments, girls. We do be tripping. But in that situation, it was like, sis, that ain't going nowhere. And so I had to come, and I felt alone. Like my mom, of course, man, my mom, y'all know how tight we are. But that was like, it was something like where we had she was like, I don't know what's going on, because something that I didn't share with my mom. I'm like, I'm walking down the aisle. This is me. I'm an adult. I'm grown, you know. And so I didn't share those things with my mom, my reservations and stuff like that. Like, I didn't go into that. I prayed separately. Me and him talked. Of course, we talked, and he, you know, was very much so like, you know, he understood later, I believe. In this situation, I realized that, you know, we were moving in different directions, and there were some things that needed to be resolved, and we could not resolve those together. So that was the other thing. Or we could have, but it was going to require a lot more of what we both were at the time willing to give. And when that was the case for us, someone had to say, okay, let's take it off. And so I knew it was my responsibility, because we were just going to continue, because of how close we were, how we were friends. We're good friends. Like this, we are used to each other. Everybody around us see us together. There were outside pressures that were affecting our relationship, that was affecting our ability to develop a great relationship that could be a strong foundation. It was so much that needed to be dug up, so much stuff in his past, so much stuff in my past, so much, you know, and I mean, and even things that were currently happening. It was so much, our environment was not conducive for that. And so when, you know, I called out the wedding, there were so many things that happened. It was like, once I took that step to go against what everybody had to say, and one of the things that God shared with me on the point of what I'm getting at was that the fear of man, he gave me this scripture, and I had never, ever read this before in the Bible, my entire life. The fear of man brings a snare, but those who put their trust in God will be safe or saved. I think it was another translation, safe or saved. And so what I'm sitting there, I'm getting this word from God, and I'm in this foreign spot, and I'm in the middle. I'm like shaking up. I literally, when I called the wedding, like there was so much happening around me. There was so much change. I had just shifted out of my church that I grew up in. It was so much. I was physically in a different location. There were so many things happening that I felt like God was just like, I'm trying to show you something, like, and everything like shook. I mean, like, it was like being underneath this tree and everything just falling down, like everything that's been sitting in places and stuff like that was just sitting there. And I felt like everything was being shooken, and it was for a good thing, because I am the woman I am today because of those moments, because of that experience. And my view of marriage is so much more hopeful, so more like more sound. Marriage does not make everything better. Marriage heightens it, because marriage requires you to sit and talk, you know, sit and work it out. Like, I don't believe in divorce. And so one thing I didn't want to do was just do something and say, hey, I'm just gonna wait till we get to, you know, married, and once we get married and I become your wife, everything's gonna go away. There were so many things that I had processed in my head that made me continue to go. And so we did get close to being at the altar. And I had to make this decision, and I felt like this decision was just, I had to do it. Nobody can make it for me. And people weren't going to understand me. People thought I was crazy. They thought I was crazy. And I understand that, because I did too. I said, am I crazy? Am I tripping? I'm for real I'm out here, got a ring on my finger, and am I seriously about to walk away from this relationship? You know, and I'm so much better of a woman because of that. And I know that was the right decision for me, but that was the right decision for me, you know. And I would never tell anybody advocate divorce or walking away from relationships or anything like that. You pray and you be led by God. For me, that was the right decision for me, because there were some deal breakers. There were some things that I was not willing to accept, and there's some things that he should not have settled for with me as well. And we knew that. We knew that what it was going to take for us to be together required us to be honest. And I think a lot of times, I'll say for me personally, in my relationships, like, that honesty factor has to be there. Like, you have to be honest with yourself. I think a lot of times people disregard that. They're like, I'm an honest person, but lie to themselves all the time just to make that other people happy. And, you know, and God was saying that to me, like, don't be so afraid what people are going to say and what people are going to do and how they're going to treat you and how they're going to look at you, because you're making a decision that's best for you. You have to live with this. You have to wake up, you know, committed to this. You have to honor this covenant. You have to do that. Right now, you're a single woman until you're at the altar. And I did. I held on to that. I held on to that piece of that scripture that carried me through my decision to not care what people think. And later on, it made sense. And, you know, and there's still people who see me today and they're like, when is the wedding? I'm like, I don't know how long ago that was. Like, and them hands as bare as ever. I'm single. Like, where's the what? Okay. So so that was like my story of being engaged, dating, proposal, calling off the wedding. And I do want to say this, that people think that the person has to be perfect. And if there's problems, then that's not the person for you, or that there's not a relationship. It's about choice. And that was another thing that came to me. I could have chosen to go through with that, you know, the marriage and all of that. And I would have lived with that. And I would have been the best wife I could be, you know. And I do believe God would have still been with me, and he would have helped me and helped us. But I also believe that you help yourself. You know, you can help yourself as well in positioning yourself in where you're supposed to be positioned at. And I don't go around thinking that if there's problems, that's not the person for you. I think people have this illusion that if there is no conflict, that y'all good. We didn't have like a whole bunch of conflict beginning of the relationship. Of course, everything looks great. Of course, in the beginning of the relationship, everybody's on their best behavior. Like, of course, I'm your biggest fan, your advocate, your bestie, whatever, whoop. But when the rubber meets the road, what's really going on here? And I think a lot of people they feel like everything has to be perfect too. And so I definitely don't hold on to that thought process. I believe that everybody has a choice. You can know someone, you're supposed to be with somebody all day long, but if you're not working towards that, and if that person is not, or that person is timid, or they're not working on their own personal issues to see how they're supposed to see, then that y'all may not work. You know what I'm saying? That may not be the case for you. You guys may not go, you know, the long run. But I think, again, it's everybody, both parties working together. And so that is literally the story. I mean, I'm open for questions. Again, some stuff I may not answer because I do want to respect, you know, all those involved. This is my story, but there are other people who are a part of my story, and so I want to respect that. But comment below if you have any questions, if you want a Q&A, if you want to kind of know what was going on in my mind, if you want to know different things or different perspectives on the matter. I'm willing to do that. And I want to thank you all so much for sitting through the first and the second half of this video. I know it's a little bit long. I try to break it up for y'all because, you know, I want y'all to be able to, you know, get the story, but not to take too much of your time. And hopefully you got a lesson out of that. And that it's a part of my story. It's not something I'm ashamed of. I do believe in marriage, and I do believe that my husband is, you know, going to be the best man for me, and I'm gonna be the best woman for him, and it's gonna be great. So I definitely still hopeful for marriage. That might have been a question that one of y'all was gonna ask, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. But yes, I'm very hopeful for marriage. I do in fact want to be married, and I will be, you know, to my man. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you want more information or content, if you want more content like this or surrounding about like relationship or what. I'm only gonna talk about what I know. I ain't gonna talk about what may work for you. I'm just talking about what worked for me and how I live my life. And I would love to share with you all. But I will see you all in the next video. Again, turn on your bell notifications. I'm gonna be uploading a new video every week. Every week is my new schedule. And so make sure you are subscribing to the channel. We on the road, y'all. Let's get this channel to 1K, like by, what should we get this by? Let's get this channel to 1K by December, before November, y'all. Let's do it before November. Can we do that? 1K, we're on the road to 1K. We only got 700 to go. Yeah, we only got 700 to go. Come on, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this channel to that. And I'm so excited. I'm so ready to share all the content that I have lined up for you all. And it's going to be fun. Like, it's going to be some great stuff. We're going to get deep. We're going to have some fun. It's me. It's all of me. This is all these different parts of me. And I want to share it with you all. And I want to thank you for your time. I love you guys so much. Peace.